Hello and good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing on this Sunday evening? I hope everyone's doing all right. I've forgotten my hat. I've just realised. I want it. Oh, you passed it to me. I thought I put it down. I did put it down, and now I've got it back again. There we go. Get us in the old Christmas spirit a little bit. So, how's everyone doing? We're doing okay here. Yeah, this is it's live week for us here on the Nexus, so this is the start of it. And I'll be live streaming every day this week up until Friday. So yeah, we're doing all right. Hi Dee, how's it going? And Neil as well. Hi Neil. Kenneth, afternoon Kev, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah. Anything fun video ready for Christmas? Yeah, I'm ready now. But yeah, I'll be doing live videos all day this week. Every day this week I'll be doing a live video. Combinating in the award ceremony that I'm hosting. So yeah, the only people that know that's won is my wife and my daughter. They're the only two people that know who's won. I don't know. It's going to be a surprise to me on the night as well who wins, but that's going to be a good laugh. I've got a funny feeling that's going to be a right good laugh. But yeah, I'm doing a live build on all this week, so Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday I'll be building live. I have done it once before, but I've never really done any sort of big live build video things, so I'll be doing that. That's going to be interesting. There's a few things that could go wrong, obviously. It's like issues not turning up. So I collect my issues from news agents, but sometimes they might not turn up. Also, as well, on Tuesday, the live build was going to be Lego, but I've ordered it. I don't know. It's not arrived yet. I'm hoping it arrives tomorrow or Tuesday by the latest. If not, I'll have to think of something else to do. But yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. If not, if it doesn't come, I've got some other stuff here that I can do, some Warhammer stuff that I can do, paint wires and stuff like that. You can watch me build and paint them. But you never know. I'm hoping that it turns up. Hiya Mark, how's it going? Hope everything's well. And yeah, love your video and channel. Thank you very much. It's nice to have you here. Hi Dave, how's it going? So yeah, so a few things. The Batmobile Tumblr website should have gone live on the 14th. That was what was said in an email to me, but it hasn't. I don't really know why. I have emailed them. I emailed them on the Thursday, on the 15th, and I haven't got a response back yet. So I don't really know what's going on there. It should have really gone live already, unless they've pushed the date for the actual release of it, which they could do at short notice. They could do that, but we'll find everything out close to the time. But yeah, it's normally about a week or two before the build actually comes out that it goes live. They could leave it up until a couple of days before, but it normally goes live before it's out in the news agents. So yeah, very strange one. I don't really know what's happened there. And apart from that, I don't think there's anything else like new part work related that we can discuss, like from last week sort of thing. The only other major thing is obviously the postal strikes. And I mean, we haven't had any mail, letters or parcels for about 7 or 8 days. So and I see some people have gotten their subscriptions now from last month that they should have had last month, have just started turning up. And some people haven't. So it's really hit and miss at the minute. With the amount of strikes going on at the moment, some offices are clearing stuff quicker than others. But yeah, So it all depends on where you are, and how quick you're going to get your stuff, really, and how well your DO office or delivery office is clearing stuff, and if they've got the staff as well. That's the other thing as well. Some of the delivery offices haven't got the staff. Even with agency staff, they're struggling. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment, parcel wise. Like I said, I'm still waiting for the Lego, and I really want it to come here for Tuesday. But it's looking likely it might not be here, and I don't really want that to happen. So it's the Lego Vespa. If anyone wants to know, it's the blue Lego Vespa. That's the one I've ordered, and that's the one that I want to build live on the channel on Tuesday. I'm really hoping that it turns up, because I think that would be great. If it doesn't turn up, I will still do the live build of it at another point, at another time. So yeah, there's that. I'm also obviously there's the award ceremony as well. That's going to be great. That is on Friday, and that is going to be a great laugh, I think. But I don't know who's won. I don't know who's won, who's or anything. I don't know anything. My wife does. My wife and daughter sat down, went through all the results, writ everything down with the cards out, everything. So they're the only two people who know exactly who's won everything. So yeah, it's going to be a good night, I think. A very good night. Yeah, so just to run through what's happening this week, really. So tomorrow I'm doing a live 6-hour gaming stream tomorrow, and we're going to be doing getting ready for the Batman Tumbler build. So I thought, what better way than to play a Batman? So I'll be playing 6 hours of that. You can come in and out of it as you please, and see how bad I'm doing at it, just to have a bit of a laugh. So I'll be doing that for 6 hours. So I reckon I can complete this in 6 hours. The main story, there's a lot of side missions on this, but I think the main story I can complete within the 6 hours. But we'll find out tomorrow. And it's got some downloaded content as well I've got for this. So it looks like the Batman that's from Batman Begins and things like that, and the car as well. So it's all going to look really cool. So we can get ourselves into the spirit of the build before it drops. That's Tuesday. I'm doing the live build. Obviously, like I said, if the Lego doesn't turn up, I've got a lot of Warhammer, so you can see me build and paint them as well. So I'm going to do me painting them and see me build it. So that'll be quite a good one. Wednesday is going to be a live Disney Dollhouse build, and Thursday will be a live Dodge Charger build. Also, I am still waiting for the Alien issues. So I ordered the Alien issues on, I think it was the last Friday of November. They weren't dispatched until the 2nd of December, and I'm still waiting. It's never ever took this long, but because of all the strikes that are happening, it's probably somewhere in the Royal Mail system. So they could turn up tomorrow. If that turns up tomorrow, I might build that instead on Tuesday. But I'm not hopeful that they'll be turning up by then. I'm hoping they turn up before Christmas. But obviously after Christmas, I'll be bulk buying and bulk building the Alien anyway. So yeah. Hi, Peter. How's it going? Yeah, you're the only one who knows who's won. Yeah. Hi, David. How's it going? Thank you for joining us here this evening. And then there's just Kirsty saying hello to everyone. Yeah, so that is what's happening all this week. Because I thought, what better way to round off Christmas, really, with all of that. Now, the award ceremony, after that, which is on the Friday, 23rd of December, there won't be a video on my channel then until the 28th of December, when everything starts back up again and everything's back to normal, really. This time next week, it will all be over, thereabouts. But I won't. My next live stream will be on the very 1st of January. So yeah, New Year's Day will be my next Sunday live stream. So yeah, that's what's happening this week. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with what's coming out. I know Agora have said that they're going to announce a build on Christmas Day. Could that be the Batman? Could that be the Batman? I don't know. I've got a funny feeling it might be the Batman build that they unveil. It'd be interesting to see what they, unless it's completely different and we don't know, unless it's, you know, we can all hope that it's Johnny 5, but I don't think it is. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on that day. Peter, I've had nothing from Hachette for so long now, it's a joke. But D'Agostini and Agora on the ball. Got the patch for the Ferrari build. Yeah, I like I said, I know the post is quite bad here at the minute, so hopefully it all sorts itself out. It's not. It's yeah, whatever normal is. Yeah, whatever that is, whatever normal is. Exactly, Mark. Yeah, whatever that is. Back to some sort of chaos anyway. Hi Todd, how's it going? You're probably the best to ask at the minute. I haven't messaged IXO or PCT for a couple of weeks now, but I've heard nothing from them. I think they're just literally waiting now for the legal stuff to go through. But I think people are now getting a bit anxious with it. I've noticed, especially in the groups, that people have started now sort of getting very anxious. I don't think it's the Tumblr. Yeah, I don't think it is. It might be. I don't know. Hi, Greg. How's it going? Yeah, all going good. You're not late, by the way. Don't worry. Yeah. So, and then next year, I will have the train set here. So I'll be building the TT 120 train set. That's going to be really good. What I've seen so far, because people have already started receiving them, I haven't actually got mine yet. So ordered, and I think they're delivering them in batches. So I'm hoping mine comes before Christmas. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not really going to touch it or do any videos on it until January anyway. But that'll be a good build, I think, because I've never done anything like that before. So you know, the things that scare me most about it is the wiring. There's loads of different ways you can wire it, and I've never really done things like that. So it's going to be a learning curve, but also a scary one as well. You know, I might end up like executing myself or something. But you know, it's going to be a great thing, because you'll see me build everything from the ground up. So not just all the electrics, but the buildings as well, and I'll be learning along the way. So hope you can all join me on that journey. And it's one of those ones that is continuously going to grow as well. It's not one of these ones that after a year or two, that's it. Because of the way they're bringing out the 120 stuff, it's a very slow process. So it's over a number of years. This is going to take shape, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. But yeah. Christmas Eve for Agora models under the cover, I believe. Oh, is it Christmas Eve? I thought it was Christmas Day. I thought it was Christmas Day. I thought it was a bit weird thinking Christmas Day. Maybe that's my mistake. Maybe I've got it all wrong, and it's Christmas Eve. But I mean that's Saturday, so it's not that far away. Like I said, it's this time next week it'll all be over. And then back to some sort of normality in some sense of that. Anyway, with the Royal Mail strikes, it's not going to get any better at the moment, unless they can pull a rabbit out of a hat. It's just absolute chaos at the moment. It's not even sort of organized chaos. It's just chaos. It's just chaos. There's so much stuff backed up in the system now. It's unreal. So yeah, people that have been waiting for their subscriptions, December subscriptions, you probably won't get until January. And January subscriptions, you might not even get until February, because I believe they're planning on more strikes in January. So yeah, it's not looking great at the minute if you're waiting for post. But I'm totally behind the union, all the unions, in fact, trying to get a fair deal and stuff. You know, so but yeah, it's annoying, but I understand what they're going through and what's happening. So yeah, the high side mirrors for the one under the blanket. He thinks LaFerrari. Oh, right, okay. You know, I saw it and I thought it's obviously some sort of vehicle, but you know, it could be anything really, because that could just be a sort of cover thing. I've sort of slightly now I am doing the Tumbler, but I wouldn't call that a sort of normal car, if you know what I mean. I'm getting a bit sort of. I know a lot of other people are as well. They want other things to build, you know, ships, boats, all that sort of stuff. But I think a lot of people are sort of slightly now going off the cars. I don't think that people are going to stop doing them. I just think people want something a little bit different now in terms of what they want in part works. Especially now we've had things like the Terminator, R2D2. You know, got the Alien build coming out as well, RoboCop, Iron Man. And so I think a lot of people are like, well, they're different. You know, everything's always cars. I want something a little bit different. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'd love to build a Tumbler in the US. Kind of said about it. I'll be very surprised if Agora doesn't pick it up. Very surprised. I'm still quite surprised actually. It took them this long to bring out the Routemaster, and they still haven't brought out the Eddie Stobart, which I'm surprised about. But never say never. I'm almost certain that they will bring out the Tumbler for you to get. Almost certain. We need some other than vehicles. Yeah. I think a lot of people are now starting to think, you know, is there something else other than vehicle? A lot of companies do vehicles, the cars and that, and they sell very well. So there's a reason why they do that. But I think now people are starting to think, you know, can we have some aeroplanes, helicopters, you know, that sort of stuff, just something different other than the car variety. Though I'm now doing the Tumbler, I wouldn't necessarily call the Tumbler an ordinary vehicle, if you know what I mean. It's more of a specialized one, a bit like Kit and the DeLorean. But yeah, that's why we wish we had a Johnny Five, but it seems to be a misventure. Building with the Boys brought it up as well, and I've brought it up a few times as well. If you've seen Scott over at Building with the Boys, you have to ask yourself, right now, we all remember Johnny Five as this sort of nostalgia sort of film. We all remember it as a brilliant film. It's very iconic because it's got the robot on that. But actually, when it came out, which was, I think it was the late 1980s, you know, we'd already had things like the Terminator and things like that. So the robot itself looked very, very sort of basic, if you know what I mean. And we all remember it as really fondly. But actually, I don't think the film did very well in terms of everything else. It done well enough to get a sequel, which I think actually flopped more than the first film. But ask yourself this, Todd. Why is there no merchandise? You have to ask yourself why there's no merchandise of Johnny Five or Short Circuit anywhere. Even when it was released, you would have thought, oh, mate, maybe they could release some sort of kids' toys to it. And I think they released some stuff, but it was all generic stuff. So it was all sort of like sunglasses with Short Circuit written on it, and I think they brought out a robot and they just stuck short circuit stickers on it. It didn't even look like Johnny Five. But even now, you can go in the shop now and you can buy things like Alien, Predator, Terminator, Gremlins, Critters, even all those sort of horror movie stuff, but no Johnny Five stuff anywhere. Even to this day, there's none of it around, which is surprising. You know, things like even places like Hot Toys and Sideshow, and some of the high end collectibles, like Prem Studios and stuff like that, haven't touched it. Just haven't touched it. There is some places online, I think, that you can get a 3D model kit for it. You can do a 3D printed model kit. You can either get the file for that or you can get one printed out. There's guys online that do a robot mechanical one that talks and goes around. So there are third party people and there are custom ones built. And there's a guy that's made one. If you're on Facebook, check out the Johnny Five Nottingham page. This is a guy who's built a full size one, and he goes to the conventions with it and stuff like that. But apart from that, there's just absolutely zero. And it's really surprising. You've got people like NECA, should I say? Sorry, not NECA, McFarlane, all those sort of toy companies, and you're thinking, you know, they've done the one or two on things like Gremlins and Friday the 13th and all that sort of stuff, and it's just no merchandise for it whatsoever. Even after all this time, when sort of the old 80 films are doing really well and they're sort of coming back, there's still no merchandise at all for it. So I don't know why. Like I said, there was a little bit of controversy even around at the time. I mean, nowadays, I think a lot of people, I think it wouldn't get made nowadays. I think it would be the robot itself would be sort of more human-like, if you know what I mean. And it's got that Wall-E, you know what I mean? When you look at it and you look at Wall-E from Disney and you look at Johnny Five, they're very similar. And if you had the two here, you know, and you're a marketing guy and you're marketing these things, you would always choose Wall-E, not just because it's Disney, but because it's more popular over the Johnny Five. I'm really surprised that they still haven't done anything. Maybe it's got that controversy mix in it with the character of Ben and some other bits in it, as well as the way that they find that Johnny Five is alive is when he laughs, and the joke they tell him is a sort of a Jewish joke, and it's like, it's a very cringy thing now, and it does get played on the telly. Every now and then it appears on TV channels, but it's not played like things like Back to the Future, even Gremlin, you know, Critters, all those sort of films. It's just not played like it like those sort of films are. It's just a very strange one. Retro, yeah, they should do, but even with, like, they're doing stuff, Peter, with Action Retro and stuff like that, which do the little figures, and they do them on Transformers, but they also do things like from The Thing and things like that. And I'm thinking they haven't even made a little tiny figure of it, and they've made nothing. It's just really weird, and nobody will want it. Maybe it's a bit too much. You got to ask a question. Maybe it's a bit more controversial now, so maybe that's why a lot of companies sort of stayed clear of it, or the license for it is too much. Now, you could get a license for anything, but if it costs too much to license it, they could just over license. Like, they could just ask for more money than what people think that it's worth, if you know what I mean. Maybe that's why. TriStar failed at marketing it pretty badly. Yeah, like I said, there was no, even when it came out, there was no merchandise for it. There's still no merchandise for it now. TriStar is I think it's owned now by Disney. And you know, you would have thought, now with Disney owning it, maybe we get it, and they're just not touching it. Like I said, it's like it was a bit controversial even at that time when it came out. when it had the character of Ben sort of portraying an Indian character or an Asian character when he was like white, and he had to get sort of browned up for it and I put on this accent for it. It didn't come across very good. Like I said, the way that they find out he's alive is when he laughs at a joke, and that joke's a little bit anti-Semitic sort of thing. So we're in 2022, 2023. It's just one of those films that I think, like, it's touching. It's strange because it doesn't get played on the TV, and you got stuff like that. Yeah, you got films like Airport and the Naked Gun films, and they're always played on the telly. And some of those jokes now are like really borderline. But yeah. Reminding people that they took a white actor and painted him. Yeah, this is literally what I've just said. Yeah, and I think nowadays a lot, like if a company come out with something like that, they would go, how much, probably they would probably sell it. I don't think they'd have any problem with people buying it, but it could send the wrong message, and I think that's why a lot of people have just basically stared clear of it. And especially, it's really strange, but I think the partwork companies would as well, because it would mean them doing some information in a book, say if it's Hachette or something like that, where it would have to explain the films and stuff like that. And there was only 2 films, remember. So yeah, that. Yeah. Hi Jay, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Hope everything's all right for you at the minute. I know it's a bit of everything's just sort of getting on top there, but you'll pull through it. I'm sure you will. I'll be here to help if anyone's down like that. So yeah, I think Sony Pictures ended up with the rights to Short Circuit after it went to Columbia and a few other holders. I think Fox 20th Century. When Disney acquired a lot of those pictures, TriStar and things like that, I think it was eventually. I know TriStar and things like that eventually went into the Fox, which is obviously is now owned by Disney. So I don't know if the rights changed over. Like you're saying, it probably did. And I know there was talk of them doing a sort of a reboot or a re-release or anything like that, and they haven't even done. I don't think they've even done like a 20th anniversary or 30th anniversary of it or anything like that. Special DVD sets. Now I know you can get them, but yeah, it's just one of those. I mean, if I go onto my Sky TV right now, or I'll type it in Short Circuit, where to watch it. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Disney Plus, obviously. It's not on Amazon. It's not online. It's on no streaming services. And I know that some films come and go all the time, but that also should tell you something, I think, as well. Like you said as well, Todd, I think a lot of people are just a bit clear of it now. I think, I think the subject matter and stuff is, is one of those things. I think we all want something like that, and trust me, if a company did Johnny Five, I would snap my arms off to get it. And I think we could build it and have the ability to walk and talk and stuff like that. It'd be absolutely awesome. But I just think that there's too much of a little bit of a controversy around it for companies to pick it up. Over other things, I've seen, like, I keep going back to it, but look, you see stuff of lesser films. What was that? What's that film called? The one where he puts on the sunglasses and he can see the aliens and all that sort of stuff and the real messages and that. I can't remember. Vey or something. I can't remember. Is it Vey or something like that? I can't remember off the top of my head. It had Rowdy Roddy Piper in it, and even that's got merchandise out at the moment for it. So yeah, it's just all these like these little tiny sort of not big budget 80s movies are getting loads of merch for it. Just not that one. But yeah, Short Circuit 2 is the only one you can search, buy and keep. And Short Circuit 2 was the lesser one as well, because it had the he became a punk in it, didn't he? But like I said, I knew recently there was they were going to reboot it. I think early back as like 2016, 2017. There was talk of them doing a script, and then there was talk of them rebooting it, and now it's just all quiet. So yeah, it's only Teaching Robotics, which is a sweet build but overpriced. Yeah, it's a nice one. Like I said, we're probably more likely to get WALL-E, a part work build of WALL-E, over Johnny Five, I think, at this point. You know, I'm surprised as well. A lot of people were talking about around the summertime that the next Star Wars build was going to be the Star Destroyer, but since then nothing's come out. Another thing as well that I should say as well that has put a little bit of a spanner in the works with the Star Wars ships is obviously with Slave One. Because it's not called Slave One anymore. In fact, it's called, I think they just called it the Boba Fett ship. Boba Fett. That's it, Boba Fett. I think that's it. They've just called it his ship over Slave One now because of the controversy around it. So, yeah, I think we could still get that as a part work, and it would be really cool, I think, getting that as a fairly decent sized part work. But once again, I think a lot of people, I think the companies would say, you know, that we would all call it Slave One, whether it was that or not. But yeah, I think they're just covering their own backs really over things. I would build WALL-E. Yeah, I think, yeah. I think if you had the choice between WALL-E and Johnny Five, we would all build a Johnny Five, of course we would. But I think when you look at the company wise, I think you would always choose WALL-E because it would just sell. I think it would just sell better. And I wouldn't thought it would be. There's no controversy around it and stuff like that. But I'm surprised they haven't. They've done R2D2. I'm surprised they've not done sort of a C3PO or something like that. Something like the Terminator, but like C3PO or even one of the battle droids actually from the first movie. But now they've done all these other TV series and stuff. There's loads of droids to do and stuff. So you know, they've got so much pool of stuff that they can bring out. I remember as well a couple of years ago getting a survey from Hachette. No, I don't think it was Hachette. Tell a lie. I think it was DeAgostini asking what Marvel builds that people would like. And it had things like it had like the Quinjet. I remember it had the Quinjet. It had I think it had Mark 45 Iron Man armor. It also had the Hulkbuster, and one of the builds that I would really love to do, and that was the Helicarrier. But I think what I remember Thanos' glove being one of the answers, and they've obviously released that instead now. But I would love to build the Helicarrier. That would be a really good build, I think. Getting that right would be awesome. Really good. Even the Hulkbuster I would do. But yeah, I don't know what's coming out from Hachette. Obviously, apart from the the Batman, and the Stormbreaker as well for the Warhammer. That's the only two I know. I know that they're going to be bringing out some as well. I also know Fanhome, they're going to be bringing out some as well. There is rumours that RoboCop is going to be released from there, as well as the Millennium Falcon. But to be fair, I haven't really contacted any of these companies for quite some time now, just because there hasn't been nothing really coming out for me to pursue, if you know what I mean. Only if the tracks were easier than the Tiger. Yeah, I mean not the Tiger, the other tank. I've forgotten the other name of it now. I know what you mean, though, Pete. Yeah. Hi, Steve. How's it going? Evening. I'd love a Predator to go with the Xenomorph or a Darth Vader. Oh, a Darth Vader would be cool, wouldn't it? There was, just before Eaglemoss went belly up, they were discussing on doing the 2005 bronze Dalek in a 1:2 scale, which would be operated from an app, and you could move it and stuff like that. I think what they did was take a lot of stuff that they had with R2D2 and then put it into a Dalek. And I think, why hasn't another company come along and thought about doing that? Because I guarantee you that would do the Leopard. That's it, Peter. Leopard. Yes. Yeah, the tank. But yeah, I mean, a Darth Vader would look, a Predator would look. I mean, the with the Alien, it's a very sort of, it's love-hate relationship, I've got to say, with the Alien. That I think a lot of people, when that comes out as a full build, obviously I'm quite far through now. I'm up to issue 52, and I've got up to issue 58 coming. And then in January, I'm going to be getting up to like 90 on stuff like that. So I'll be getting loads of them in. But it is very much a love-hate relationship with that Alien build. And I think a lot of people are going to love it. But a lot of people are really going to detest from it, because if you've watched me build it, you'll see the amount of trouble I've had. And the amount of glue, and there's not really a lot of building in it. It's all sticking. It's, you know, you're sticking magnets on, you're sticking pipes on the skin and stuff like that, and then you're stitching the skin together. And you're gluing more than you're screwing stuff in. It's really, I get really excited when it's like, oh, I have to use a screwdriver to screw these two bits together. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to struggle with that build. A lot of people. Eaglemoss were also working on a Ford Falcon from Mad Max, and they went when they bet bust. Yep. I found out a lot of information, Todd. So they were going to do an F1 car. I know that one. They didn't say which F1 car that they were going to do, just that they were going to do a Formula One car. They also said that they were going to do a NASCAR, and that was primarily for the US market. Once again, I don't know which NASCAR they were going to do, but it was definitely on the board for them doing. I also know that they were in the stages of doing the tooling, so that it hadn't gone to them yet. But I think they were at the stage of creating a prototype of the next Star Trek build that was due to come out. In fact, I think I know that they already built the prototype, but they hadn't gone to the tooling stage yet. And that was for the Enterprise A. That was going to be the next build, and it was due out. It would have, if it hadn't gone, but it would have already been out. The Enterprise A build would have already been out. That's how close they were with that. But that would have been their next Star Trek build. So, but they had loads of part works, stuff that they were going to do. But yeah, there was lots they were going to do. But before they went, I know I'm going to be a black sheep if I heard, but I'm not a Doctor Who fan, to be honest. Hey, not everyone is, to be fair, Greg. Not everyone is. I'm more of a fan of the newer stuff from 2005 onwards. than the older stuff. It's a bit like, you know, controversial things about me is I don't like the older Doctor Who. It's for me, it's unwatchable. It's very dated. Similar to me as well. I know it's really controversial, but I'm obviously a massive Star Trek fan. But I don't like TOS. I don't like the original Star Trek. Once again, maybe I was brought up on the Next Generation, and I've watched the TOS, but you know, I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. So yeah, there's that controversy as well with me. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But a Darth Vader would be cool, or a Predator. But I'm sure we would figure out a lot of figures we'd love to build. I'm sure, yeah, definitely. Now, though, saying we've now got a Terminator, we've now got an Alien. I got a funny feeling we could end up with a Predator. Where you know, being able to take the mask off with the gun that could follow you around. I mean, there's loads of options they could do with it. Now they know as well you can what they can do with the silicone and stuff like that with the skin and that. So there's loads. I think there's loads that they can do. So I think a Predator could be really, really quids on. Really, I think that would sit in really well with what we've all got. So D'Agostini did an F1 before that. Before there were RC as well. I believe the company with I know what you're talking about now. But yeah, D'Agostini have done a few F1 cars. Some of the companies they've done a lot of F1 cars from near enough every genre, if you know what I mean. My very, very first adult part work, I might add, because I've done ones when I was a kid and stuff, but my very first adult part work was the Lewis Hamilton F1 car that D'Agostini did. That was my very, very first sort of grown-up part work I ever did. It was the McLaren. I can't remember when it came out. 2008, I think. But yeah, Steve, been enjoying your Alien Build. Yeah, like I said, it's very much a love-hate relationship with that. It's, especially when it's all in pieces and you before you put it all together, it's just all in bits, and then when you put the leg together and the arm, it comes together really nice. It's going to be one of those builds, a bit like the Terminator was. It was one of those builds where it was just bits everywhere, and it just didn't feel right. But once it all came together and started clicking together and coming together and it you kind of just went, actually, I like this. It's gonna be one of those ones where I hate the build but love the finished result. And the build is challenging, let's put it that way. I'm just gonna say that and leave it there. But yeah, I don't want to put anyone off it because I think it's really good. But yeah. Sheldon Cooper would not like that. No, he would not. No. No. I like the characters in it and stuff like that, but I just didn't get the series. I just didn't get it. Especially when you watch it and you've watched things like like the Batman series when that was out as well, because that was with Adam West and stuff. That was, for me, I think they played it. When you watch it now, it's quite clearly a parody, but it's played seriously. And I think some of the Star Trek TOS stuff is played very seriously. I just think it's because the era that I've grown up in, which is obviously the 80s. It just looks really dated, and even now it's got some good storylines in there still today. It just looks very, very, very dated. But yeah, no, Sheldon Cooper would not like that. No way. Don't offer that. Don't often hear that kind of thinking, Nexus. Star Trek, Doctor Who. Oh, what happened there? I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. The screen just went black. Did it go black?
It turned sideways.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. But yeah. Yeah. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but only from 2005. Obviously, I know the other Doctors and sort of what went down and some of the stories, but I haven't really followed it from the olden days. It's really bad. I'm digging myself a hole here, aren't I? I know what you mean. Probably also because we all have that CGI stuff nowadays, and the old stuff looked kind of bad. Yeah, I think that doesn't help. I think we're spoilt now as well. But even when you look at sort of TOS, and then you look at next gen, it's leaps and bounds better. Better. The first series not so good, but everything after that, yeah. A Klingon Bird of Prey would have been a nice build to do. Yeah, that would have been a really cool build. I think they were going to stick with the Federation ships. If Eaglemoss had carried on, I think they would have carried on releasing Federation ships, sort of, Voyager and the Defiant and things like that. But right now, what I really would like is my Enterprise finished. Is the Enterprise D finished? That would what I'd really, really like. That would be fun. Original cartoon series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or the bus. Yeah. I think nowadays there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, they've done, or they are doing, I should say, the Megazord, and I didn't know. I thought you just built the robot, but actually, looking into it a bit more, I've looked into it a bit more. I was never a massive Power Rangers fan. I did watch it, of course I did, but I was never really, really big on it. But looking at the Megazord build, it all comes apart, and then you can have it all separate. The part work, you can have it all separate, or you can have it as the actual Megazord as well. It actually comes all apart. I didn't know that. I thought that was I didn't know that, and now I know it. That looks like a pretty cool build. But yeah, it all connects together and unconnects into their separate modules. So yeah, I'm surprised. I reckon that will come out here. That would definitely come out here. I think because I think that's quite popular over here. So yeah, I would very much place money on that would come out. Though there are some builds that I thought would come out over here and haven't, including the Gran Torino, the Starsky and Hutch build. I'm very surprised that hasn't been released yet over here. Don't never say never, but I'm very, very surprised that's never been released here. And I've got a funny thing. There's gonna be more builds like that going forward, where they're out in France but never come out over here. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. That Megazord sounds fun. Who does that? D'Agostini does that. It's out in France right now. I think they're on issue 40. Coming up for issue 50, I think they are now. But yeah, it all comes apart and all goes together. It has lights and sounds and everything like that. But yeah, I think it's very tall as well. I think it's really quite big. Going by the pieces that I've seen, it looks very big. But yeah, it all connects together. I've seen the trailer for it, which is on YouTube, for the part work, obviously from when they brought it out in France, and it doesn't look like it comes apart. You can see them just holding it and fixing stuff together as they do in it. But actually, when you watch people building it, it does actually come together. It sort of clicks away and clicks unclicks together, so you can take the feet off. That they come their separate module bits, and then you can transform it into the Megazord. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the Chips motorbike would be cool. There's lots about, Peter. There's loads of stuff we can think of. France, freaking France. Yep, they get it all first. They really do. They get everything. Though there's a few builds they don't get, but they do get a lot of the good stuff, don't they? They've had the Alien. By the time the Alien comes out in the UK, I will be, and so will Front, and they'll be nearly enough finished. In fact, they might even be finished. And then they've got obviously the RoboCop as well, the Megazord. They've just now started getting the Infinity Gauntlet as well. And there's us thinking we want them over here, and nothing. So, yeah, see what happens. We'll see what comes up with that, because that is going to be interesting with all the stuff that's got they've got coming out and stuff. It's going to be interesting what other part work could come out. I've just before coming on, I had a look at the national titles over here, and there's nothing on there for anything coming out yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. I would have thought the Batmobile would have been on there already. It's not. So I'm going to keep checking it, and hopefully it appears, and then I'll have some sort of real concrete evidence for that. Because sometimes I feel some of the stuff that I get from Hachette aren't totally kosher, if you know what I mean. Ain't totally true. Sometimes it feels like they're just saying stuff, and it's not. I don't know where they're getting the information from, but some stuff they've told me has come true, and some stuff they've told me hasn't. So yeah. Will you do Optimus Prime? I won't be doing the Optimus Prime from Agora, but I will be doing it if it comes out in France through DeAgostini. Obviously, the Agora one is the G1 model, but it's a really strange one, because it says that it's based on the G1 movie Optimus Prime from obviously Transformers the movie, from the 1986 movie, but it's missing lots of detail and certain aspects. It's a no from me, and I'm a massive Transformer fan, so much that I've actually got a tattoo. But the Optimus Prime from DeAgostini is the Bayformer, so from the Michael Bay movie, from the first Transformers movie. And so if that comes out in France, then I will be getting that, yes. So I'm hoping that comes out as the Alien finishes, so we can carry that on, sort of thing. See what happens over that. I'm hoping that it comes out. There's a lot of talk about it, and it did very well on the test run. So there is, I would imagine it will be released, but we'll see what comes out and when. So my neighbours are from France. Could be useful in the future as they go back every weekend. Yeah, I would, Peter. I'd ask them to pick up some issues. But the site that I use delivers worldwide. So the site that I pick up my issues from France for delivers worldwide. It actually delivers to the US. So there's another avenue there. I don't know what, like on delivery and custom charge and all that sort of stuff. I'm not too sure the rest of the world, but the UK, it actually works out pretty reasonable. And once the exchange rate's taken into account and everything else, it actually doesn't work out any different than if I collect it from the UK. Probably £1 or £2 more than I would have paid if I picked it up here. And I don't mind paying that, really, to get it, if you know what I mean, to get it here. But yeah, wouldn't hurt to ask, would it? It wouldn't hurt to ask. And they could, yeah, and you could save yourself on the delivery charge. But yeah, the company that I get from, I can't remember the name, Jaffex or something like that. It's called. I'm butchering these names tonight. But they do deliver worldwide. So that's how I get my French subscription for the Alien build. But they do deliver worldwide. So you can always look on there if you want me to, Peter. Yeah, so I'm going to sort of tell you what's happening this week. Like I said at the start of this, So tomorrow I'm doing a live 6-hour game stream where I'm going to be doing Batman Arkham Knight. So come along and join me and support the channel and just have a laugh as well. You'll be able to see me play it or attempt to play it. But it'll be a great laugh. I think it's going to be a great time. So I'll be doing that from 10 o'clock in the morning for 6 hours. So 3 p.m. in the afternoon is when I'll finish. 4, sorry, is it?
Yeah, if you're starting at 10,
It'll be 4, sorry. Right, yeah. So 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. I'll be playing it over on our YouTube channel where we are now. But anyway, look, I'm going to go now. I will not, obviously, this time next week. Come on, Kev. I think I've been on the old booze a bit too much today. This time next week, obviously, the big day will be over. So I won't be streaming next week at this time. The next time I am back doing my live Sunday stream is on New Year's Day. So I will see you guys on New Year's Day. Have a fantastic Christmas. I hope you can join me for the live week that I'm doing here. I hope to see lots of you at the awards ceremony on Friday. That'll be on Friday evening. I hope you can all join me for that. But if I don't see you until now, have a really happy Christmas. And I hope it all goes well for you and everything else. And I will see you on the 1st of January. I will see you guys. So to wishing the new year and everything else. And I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and a New Year's Eve, because I'll be here New Year's Day. So yeah, thank you very much for supporting the channel this year. Very much looking forward to next year and what's to come on the channel. It's going to be really exciting. I believe Dave Say now over at DS Models and Vintage is just going to be starting his show. So I hope you can all join us over there. But anyway, thank you so much for supporting the channel this year. It's so very much appreciated. And I absolutely love the support that I get. And you guys are absolutely brilliant as always. But anyway, I'm waffling on here. Have a nice evening. Have a nice Christmas. And we'll see you, as always, at the next video. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.